It's Al Angelo from A Plus Racing. How's it going? Hey, I found a problem with a car that we have to have at the racetrack tomorrow. I wanted to show you what's going on so that you'll know. When I'm looking at a car prior to going out to an event, I always check the front suspension and rear suspension. One of the things I do is I get in between the two tires here and I push out and I pull back in, all right? And I'm looking for any play. And then I grab the wheel down here and I'm checking the wheel bearings for play. And when I got to this one over here, I got play in it when I moved it out and moved it back in. So I'm going to move the play. You kind of look like right in here, all right? So I'm going to move the play here. And you can just see everything is moving back and forth this way, about 1/8 of an inch, okay? And if I look at the tie rod end, I don't see the outer tie rod end is moving. If I look at the ball joint, I don't see the ball joint walking back and forth. I don't see the upper ball joint walking back and forth. I see this inner tie rod end walking back and forth. So what that tells me is that this car has a bad inner tie rod end. So fortunately for you, I know how to replace it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this inner tie rod end step by step so that you could do this to your own car if you need to replace them. I don't have a lot of time though. It's back to school night and I got to get back to the high school to meet the parents, okay? So I'm going to wrap this thing up pretty quickly. So here we go. First step I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wheel off, all right? So I got my gun ready to go. And we're just going to get this wheel off. Okay, like that. That's going to open it up so that I can have a lot more room. All right. And we'll set that down there. Okay, so here's my outer tie rod end, and here's my inner tie rod end. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crack that little nut loose right there. I believe it is a 17. All right. What a guess. Let's get it on there better. There we go. All right, so I'm going to crack that loose there. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off. I think that's a 19. It is. So it looks like this outer tie rod end has been replaced before because it has a nylock on it. And I'm not going to take it all the way off. I'm going to take it most of the way off. And there's a reason for that. I think we've already ran into a problem. I'm wondering if the tie rod end is spinning. Let me get a ratchet. Okay. It's spinning. So I'm pushing up on it. I think I feel it spinning inside here. So I'm pushing up. Yeah, it's spinning. You can see it in here. I'll try to get my finger out of the way. Very unusual. Never seen this before. I know. Figures it would happen on video. So let me see if I can work on getting that off. I'm going to put some pressure on it. Okay. Very peculiar. Yeah, well, there it goes. So what I'm not going to have to probably do is hit it with a hammer to separate it. It's probably just going to fall off. 45 years of working on cars. I'm gonna hit it right here. There it is. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put the nut right back on it. That way I don't lose it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the turns to take that tie rod end out. Okay. So a 1, a 2, a 3. Okay, 19. All right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to take this nut off. And we'll set this aside. Okay, set this up here. Okay, now I got to take that dust boot out. So it's usually held on. The factory uses a piece of baling wire. And you know what? I like the baling wire. This one has some little plastic. Oh, this is a zip tie. I don't like using the zip ties. They come off. I use the baling wire. All right, I'm going to pull the boot off. This boot's in pretty good shape. Okay, now it exposes this tie rod in right here. All right, so I need to grab it here and take it off. I don't think I have a wrench that big at home. I think the biggest I got here is an inch, and I think that might be bigger than an inch. Yep. So I'm going to attempt to do it with just a big pair of channel locks to just unscrew it. Just going to grab it. There it goes. Okay. I want to keep this washer because the new one doesn't come with it. So this is what I'm replacing right here. This is what's got the play in it. Okay? So come on over here and I'll show you what I'm going to do to the washer. I want to reuse the washer, so I'm just going to flatten it out. This little washer is meant so that that doesn't come unthreaded. All right. I'm going to wipe it down. I'm going to set it right here. Let me grab my new tie rod in. So, you know, I get these at O'Reilly's. They're fairly reasonable. I think 50, 60 bucks for this one here. Has a lifetime warranty on it. So if it goes bad again, I could just get another one for free, just taking them the old one. And so they seem to be pretty good. If I could, if it was like I only owned one car and I was gonna pick one, I'd probably get a Moog. They're like top of the line. They're also a lot more money. They're also lifetime warranty. There is a difference in inner tie rod ends between a power steering rack, a non-power steering rack for an NA or an NB. So this is an NA, and if you see right here, I looped the power steering, okay? So this had power steering. So this thread pitch is different than if this was a manual rack, okay? This thread pitch is also different if this was an NB. An NB takes a totally different one. It looks exactly the same, but the thread pitch is different. So make sure that when you're ordering your tie rod end that you tell them that what year it is and whether or not it has power steering or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back on. I'm going to put my washer on, my little lock washer on there. I'm going to thread this back in there. I'm making sure I don't cross thread it. All right. Okay. And my lovely wife Mary's filming. Hey, no hard feelings, Mike. She is better looking than you. All right. Okay. So I snug it down. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. If I had the right size socket, I'd do that, but I don't have one. Okay, and so that you can see it a little better, there, push it out for you. All right, now you can see it a little better. Okay, so that's tight. And all I'm going to do now is knock this over. Like that. Just do 2 of them. What the heck? We're on a roll. All right. That kind of keeps it from coming off. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take this nut off because we need to get the dust boot on. I told you it was an easy job. And man, they charge a lot of money at the dealership to do this. You know, what are we into this thing? 5-8 minutes? It's almost, we're already going back together. Okay. All right. So our boot is right here. Go ahead and slide it on. I'm going to push it on over this little recessed area right here. Might have to employ a straight screwdriver to give me a hand. Yeah, let's get a straight screwdriver. Let's see. Get it to come over. I want that whole lip like that over it. So you got a little bit. There it goes. All right. All right, clean that groove so you can see it a little better. So you can see that here's the groove, and it's on there pretty good. So there's a special part that holds that on. It wasn't on there before. Okay, and it just so happens I have that special part in stock. Here it is. Right. So it's just baling wire. I'm going to cut me off the length of baling wire. And I just got a pair of pliers. And I want to go around a couple times if I can, right here on that little groove. Okay, so there. All right, like that. Okay, and I just got a pair of pliers here. Get a little tighter. There. There we go. All right, I'm going to pull and twist. Pull and twist. Okay, and I don't want to twist it so far that I break it. And I want to make sure that it's tight. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess there. So I trim it off. There we go. All right. And sometimes there's a little clamp right here on this side. That side doesn't have it either, but we're cool without it. All right. I'm going to put this on. I put the nut back on. Okay, then I'm going to thread my tie rod back on, the number of turns that I took it off. And if I remember right, I think it was 19. All right, so okay, so we're gonna count that as 1, 2, 3, 4. 19, right there. Okay, I'm going to take this nut off. I'm going to bring this wheel over. Okay, give me some room. All right, put that back on there. And this is a lock nut, nylock, so no carter pin here. Yours might have a carter pin. Don't be surprised, it's got a cotter pin. All right, and to help me put this back on, I'm going to go ahead and put the screw jack back underneath here. If you're doing this at home, you could probably just put a floor jack underneath it. I need that to put some pressure on that tie rod in so I can tighten it up. I'm going pretty tight on that. Tight enough to spin it off of there, but that's pretty tight. All right. Okay. It's all back together. So all I'm going to do now is put the wheel back on. Yeah, it would be easier if it was low. So the next step on this is to align it. And there's a few ways of aligning it. One, you could take it to an alignment shop and they can align it for you. I'm probably going to toe plate this one. And maybe I'll make the video on toe plating it so you can see what that's all about. So take it to a alignment shop, you can toe plate it, or there's a way of doing it with just a tape measure and a Phillips screwdriver. I can show you that trick too. But this car needs to go to the racetrack. It's got to be on the trailer in an hour or so, and I need to get this to Sonoma Raceway right away because Dr. Francis is going to rent it. So she's a Spec Miata driver who wants to be a race car driver, and she likes this car. So, new inner tie rod in, and we're all complete. Next step is the alignment, all right? I'll see you at the racetrack. Bye now.